This is Bhavya from Durat Tech, and today we'll be looking at the academic operations module of our ERP system. So first, let's quickly navigate through the module. So here we can find the academic operations module. So quite 20 module with multiple submodules under it. So let's begin with the class timetable submodule. So let's choose class 1 section A for example. So as you can see, using this particular option, we'll be able to schedule lectures and make timetables by scheduling the periods on different days of the week. And the master printed was an option to add. Going on, we have the teacher management option when we can generate the timetable for teachers. So different teachers they have their own timetable wherein they have multiple lecture schedules for different classes in the entire week. So we can generate timetable for. So as you can see, we have multiple teachers here. So we can generate timetable for each one of them according to their schedule. Class teacher aggregation. So as we know, every class has a class teacher. Apart from the subject teachers, we have a class teacher who is responsible for the overall management of the class. So we can choose the class and section, for example, and choose any of the available teachers and assign the class teacher. Similarly, we also have the option to assign the subject teachers. So let's choose this class, for example. And here we have a list of all the subjects that are being taught. Similarly, you can assign the respective teacher to the subject. Moving on to promotion management. So this is when the year is over and the students are done with their exams. They are supposed to get promoted to the next class. So for example, let's take class 1 section A and let's assume the year 2025-26 is over and they've been promoted to 2026 to 2027 academic year. So we'll choose the next academic session in which they will be promoted to the new class. So they'll be promoted to class 2 now in section A. So as soon as you click on search, you get the list of the students that is supposed to be promoted. So accordingly, you get the list of the admission numbers, name, parents' detail, and other details, etc. So then accordingly, you can add in the info whether they passed or failed, whether do they continue in the same school or they leave, etc. And accordingly, you can promote. So all the students who have passed the examinations and are continuing to be in the same school, they've been promoted. Whereas the students who might have failed the exams or might want to leave the school will not be promoted. Moving on to subject grouping. So as we know, different classes, different grades, they have different type of subjects. For example, a class like senior KG wouldn't have complex subjects like geometry or geography, whereas class 10th or 12th may have them. So you can just enter the class and the respective subjects are taught to that class that you know which subjects are being taught to each class. Here we have subject management, when you can enter all the subjects that are being taught in the school. So in case you have any new subject which you are adding to your syllabus, your curriculum, then you can add it over here. And then you can add the further details such as the status, whether it's active or inactive, whether it's a theory or practical subject, and the subject code, etc. So likewise, here as we can see, we have multiple subjects entered. Moving on to sub-subject management. So in the higher grades, we have subjects like maths or science, etc., which often have other sub-subjects such as maths 1 and 2, or under maths you have pure maths or statistics or algebra or geometry. So similarly, you can also make a list of your sub-subjects. Moving on, we have class and section management, wherein we can enter the number of classes and the number of sections that we have in our school. Over here, we have the automatic timetable generator, which is quite convenient for the schools, wherein they can just simply enter the number of periods in a week that every class and section has, and an automatic timetable would be generated for that. So as we can see, we can add the details, the number of subjects and the type of subjects, etc. As when we fill in all the details, we'll be able to see an automatic generated timetable. We also have this daily bulletin option, which basically is useful for all the daily updates that the management of the students might need, such as in case there's any teacher that is on leave and you need to appoint a proxy teacher, then the management and students can already know. Moving on, we have the next submodule called as performances, which further has multiple options under it. So let's look at the first category, which is the indicators. So as we know, using our ERP system, we can also set up the lesson plans. So in order to measure the performance of how well the lesson plans were adhered to, how effective they were, you can add in a lot of indicators and remarks. From here in the indicators area, you can add the category, name and description of the indicators. Moving on, we have the option to add the scores of the teachers, the school lines and the note correction, etc. This particular option is used to measure the performance of the teachers as to how well are they executing the classes, what are the strengths, what are the improvement areas, and the overall score assigned to each teacher from any external auditors. Similarly, how well the notebook has been corrected, whether they check the remarks. You can also have the personalized teacher reports, and you can also see the report type and whom the lesson was being observed by. The same report can also be viewed in a graphical manner in order to understand it in a better way. Many schools often have external auditors coming in to check the entire performance and management of the school. So here we can have the reports for that, when you can see who has entered as an auditor, what were their observations, the next action steps and follow-ups, etc. Along with student and teachers, the observation also happens for the school heads for different school branches. So here, the indicators and the remarks for them can be entered. Over here, we can enter all the details related to the observation, such as the ID, the staff member, the class, the subject, topic, observer, section code, the question answers, and other remarks, etc. The observation settings can also be edited over here, such as section title, etc. Lastly, we have the monthly evaluation option, wherein we can test the skills of the students and check their progress, which is very crucial for their development and for the parents' knowledge. So here you can enter the staff, class, and other details, etc. View the monthly evaluation report. Also, you can enter many skills and you can trust the students' abilities and performance against those preset targets or skills. So you can then enter remarks and know how well the student has performed overall